In this video, we will explore what is G Suite for Education, along with some of the accessibility tools in G Suite and on Chromebooks. G Suite for Education is a suite of free Google tools and services that are tailored for schools. In Scotland, some local authorities have this switched on the Glow platform, while some others access this outside of Glow in their own tenancy. At the heart of G Suite for Education is Google Classroom. We will explore Google Classroom from both the teacher and learner perspective, as well as Google Docs, a word processing tool looking at some of the accessibility settings available within Google Docs, and also Google Slides as we create a presentation utilizing some of the accessibility tools available on both Slides and on Chromebook. To start, I'm going to talk you through Google Classroom. To access Classroom, go to google.com, select the 9 tiles at the top right, then select the Classroom icon. This will then load the class homepage. This will show you some of the classes you're a teacher or a student in. If you're not already a teacher or a student in a class, simply select the plus icon and select Join or Create Class. Here I've chosen Create Class. I'm going to give my class a name and then select Create. Once the class is launched, you will see the class name at the top left and the class code to display underneath. You can share this with your students to support them joining the class. This is the class stream area. This is where we can post announcements with our class. This is not really where we would share any work with our students. Here I'm posting an announcement, and to support some of my learners, I'm going to provide a video so that they can access verbal instructions. I'm going to select a video from my Google Drive and select Add. I can now post this and it will appear on the stream. If I want to add a co-teacher to the class, I can select the People tab and select the icon next to Teachers and invite teachers. I simply type in their name or their email if they're working within the same organisation. Likewise, I can add students in the same way by typing their name or email followed by invite. They then need to accept the invitation. I'm now going to focus on the classwork section within Google Classroom. This is where we can create tasks for our class to complete. Simply select Create, followed by Assignment. This will load the assignment menu. Then we can give our assignment a clear title and make sure we give it specific instructions. I always like to make sure these are consistent across classes. Select Add to add a file from your Google Drive or from your computer. I'm going to select Google Drive and select a Jamboard file, a Google Doc file, and a Slides file. Once I've selected all three, I will select Add. I'm now going to make a copy for each student of the Jamboard file and the Google Doc. And for the final one, I'm going to allow students to edit the file. This will enable them to collaborate together. On the right-hand side, I can specify which students receive this assignment. I can assign it to different classes, and I can also give this a points value, or I can have it as unmarked. By selecting the due date and time, I can give this a deadline as well, and this means that if students don't have it in by then, it will be marked as missing. I can create a topic, and for this I'm going to call it literacy. I'm now going to use the Rubric feature to add some marking criteria to this task. I've selected Add Rubric followed by Create Rubric. I'm now going to give this a title based on what my expectations are from the students, followed by some points values and descriptions of each of these levels. If you do not wish to use points values, simply toggle off where it says Use Scoring. I will add one more points value to this rubric along with a description. The description is the most important part, as this is what your students will use to up-level their work. Hit Save once you're happy, and this will appear in the assignment. Double check all of the information and then select Assign. This will then make the assignment appear in your classwork section for both you and your students. You can see who this has been assigned to and who has handed it in. The student view is very similar to that of the teacher. I'm now going to open a classroom where I'm a student, and you will see the stream looks very similar. Likewise, the People tab is where I can see my teachers and my classmates, and the classwork is where I can see all my assignments. From here I can also access the calendar to view my deadlines. By opening up one of the assignments, I can also access the document my teacher has provided. This is a Google Doc document. This is a word processing application within G Suite for Education. Here I can start typing my work, and you will also notice that the page color has been changed. If I am unable to type or less confident with spelling, I can access Tools and then select Voice Typing. I can use my voice to type my story instead! As you can see, you can type quite easily in Google Docs using your voice and use punctuation. If you're working with students who have English as an additional language, they could choose their first language from the drop-down menu on the voice typing box. Then they could go to Tools, Translate Document, and translate the document over into English. For this example, I'm going to select Polish to translate this document into. So I'll select Polish from the drop-down menu, followed by Translate. This will create a translated copy of the document, and your students could do this for any of their work in Google Classroom. Now coming back to the original document, under Tools and Accessibility Settings, we can turn on Screen Reader and Screen Magnifier support. By selecting the question mark, you can access Google's support for each of these tools. Now to hand in the work to my teacher now that it is completed, from Google Docs I can select Turn In, or I can go back to the Google Classroom, select View Assignment, and then from here, I can add any materials that go along with the task by selecting Add or Create. And then I can finally select that Turn In button, and that will hand it in to my teacher. It will double check that I'm happy to do this. If at some point a student does feel they've forgotten something or missed part of the instructions, they can unsubmit this, and then that will allow them to continue working on the task. This next section focuses on Google Docs and Google Slides. I've gone to google.com again, and this time I'm going to select the 9 tiles and the blue icon for Google Docs. From the template gallery at the top, I'm going to select blank to create a new Google document. I can access the same tools that we used earlier for accessibility settings with the voice typing, translate feature, and accessibility settings for screen reader and magnifier support. Now I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Page Setup to create a default page color. I'm going to select light yellow and set as default, and this will save for any future Google documents I create. So if I go to File, New, and Google Document, you will see it has saved that preference. To access Google Slides, I've now come back to google.com and gone to the 9 tiles. This time I'm going to select the yellow Google Slides icon. From the template gallery, I'm going to select blank. And this will create a blank Google slide deck. I can type in the title and add any text using the keyboard at this point, and then I can change the theme as well. By going to Tools, you will see we have some different options from that of Google Docs. We have the option to voice type speaker notes. We don't have the translate option, and we do have the same accessibility settings for screen reader and screen magnifier. Coming back to the tools, I'm now going to use the voice type option to voice type the speaker notes. I am using my voice to type in the speaker notes! Other settings available to us in Google Slides are when we present our slide deck. We have the option to add a pointer to draw attention to certain parts of the slide when we present. We also have the option to add captions. When presenting, captions provide subtitles to your slides. This final section focuses on Chromebooks. Chromebooks are managed devices used in schools. They're easy to use and work perfectly with the Google for Education tools. They're also used in schools who do not use Google for Education. They have a range of built-in accessibility tools, and to enable these, we need to click on the System menu by clicking on the time in the bottom right-hand corner, and then we can select the Settings icon. Then we go to Advanced on the left-hand side and select Accessibility. This is where we switch on the option to always show accessibility options in the System menu. Now when we click on the time again, we have the accessibility icon there for us to use. As I open the menu, you will see the range of tools we have available built into the Chromebooks. As I switch some of these on or off, these will save with my profile as I move between different devices. I'm going to switch on the Select to Speak and the Dictation Tool. The Dictation Tool allows me to voice type anywhere I could normally type using a keyboard and is handy when there's no voice typing option, for example in Google Forms. Type the title using your voice. Likewise, in Google Slides, I can use the Dictation Tool on my Chromebook to voice type onto the slide directly. I'm using the Dictation Tool to type onto my slide. As I also enabled the Select to Speak option, I can use this to proofread what is on my slide. I select the speaker icon that's appeared next to the time, having switched this option on, and I draw a box around the area I want to have read back to me. This works on both the document and on any piece of text in the menu, for example. By coming back to the system menu and the accessibility options, I can switch different options on or off just to see what works best for me. For example, high contrast mode, I can make use of the full or docked screen magnifiers. The docked magnifier is very similar to the full screen, just a small part of the screen is magnified, and I use the cursor to move around and view different parts. I will switch this off. And now I will enable automatic clicks, and this is a fantastic tool for any student who struggles to put pressure on the touchpad or operate a mouse, and is fantastic if you also do not have access to touchscreen devices. So by using this simple menu that has appeared on my screen, I can change the different types of click from left to right, double click, click and drag, or scroll. I can pause the options, and I can change the position of the menu too. I'm now going to use this to access a Google Jamboard file by going to the same 9 tiles as earlier, opening Jamboard, and then I'm going to open one of the documents I've already created. So to edit this document, I'm going to make use of the left click tool to choose the pen icon on the left hand side, and then the click and drag. Now please note that I'm not using any pressure in any of this. This is very lightly brushing across the touchpad. And now I can also use this to insert a post-it note and use the Dictation Tool to use voice typing to type in this post-it note as well. I can then use the automatic clicks to save this, and it will go into the document. The on-screen keyboard is a great resource for touchscreen devices or tablets or the 2-in-1 Chromebooks, as they can use the handwriting recognition to type as well without having to navigate the keyboard. As you can see, as I type, it recognizes what I'm saying. I can then hit enter on the on-screen keyboard, and I have my website results. Lastly, on the Chromebook accessibility options, we can enable a large mouse cursor, mono audio for use with headphones. We can highlight the text caret, the mouse cursor, or the area with the keyboard focus. And as you can see on my screen, the circle showing you where I am working. So to recap, on a Chromebook, any of those settings that you enable, and so long as you leave them switched on, they will stay with that user. So if a student is moving between devices in their school, those settings will be saved on all of the devices that they log in and out of. And G Suite for Education is a suite of tools designed to empower educators and students as they learn and innovate together. These are all tools created by Google to support education. At the heart is Google Classroom, as we demonstrated earlier. If you ever require further support or have any questions about accessibility features within G Suite for Education, simply go to support.google.com and search for the tool or the accessibility feature you require support with.